What up, guys? So today I am going into lethal with Bulwark. I am using a fencing chainsword here. I just wanted to show off the perks of this weapon because I think there's some valuable tanking perks in here. And honestly, pretty much everything that just helps you, yeah, exactly. Pretty much anything that helps you take less damage on Bulwark can go a really far way because of how many damage reduction perks Bulwark already has. So here I'm pretty much just, you know, aiming for a very tanky Bulwark. And I think the chainsword is also just a strong base melee weapon. It's reliable, basically. And I do have the perk where you can get your armor back on non-lethal gun strikes, which is really, really good for lethal. And yes, defensive mastery is also very strong. So here's the thing. My banner in this operation was not great. Which I was watching back the footage, you know, while I was editing, and I was thinking to myself, holy cow, I definitely need to play more Bulwark. I think what I've been doing recently has been a lot of melee rushing. Pretty much I've been just jumping into fights, trying to get some melee attacks, just finding new aggressive ways to play. And originally, my first fully leveled character was tactical, but then this is a Bulwark that I played on PC before I had the game on console. So, yeah, that banner was pretty good. That was probably the best banner I have this entire operation, unfortunately. Which is fine. I think, you know, sometimes it just takes some practice to get good at banners in general. And just knowing how strong Invigorating Icon, you really just need to drop a few in a lethal operation to really change the tides. Reliquary excluded. You need to make sure you have a clean banner for Reliquary. Yeah, that said, I basically was able to level up this Bulwark on PC to like level 20-ish before I started playing on console. And when I started playing on console, I went full, like, head-on into operations. And I've been playing a lot of operations with different classes and different weapons and just, you know, overall testing some things. And I did start to really enjoy the chainsword when I was playing the blocking chainsword. So I definitely wanted to bring it out for Bulwark. I did show off the stomping perk for the chainsword before, but I didn't really see how strong the damage reduction can get. That parry fail, I feel like I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep parrying if it doesn't work. Like, I was legit just parried 3 times, just hard parry to the air, and that was actually kind of a nice play across the zone throw. This was a zone throw fight in the hallway. When I saw that my teammates were able to handle this situation without taking too much damage, I knew we were in a good spot. Like, seriously. And this stim, you know, it can just go to my teammates. This is another thing that's just great about Invigorating Icon is that you technically don't even need any stims as a Bulwark. The only time I will ever pick them up as a Bulwark if everybody already has, like, 1 or 2. And they're just looking at stims and not picking it up. I'll just save time. Like, after a bit when we're looking at the stims, somebody needs to pick it up so we can move on without, you know, spawning an extremist and lethal. Dude, also, yes, this was a weird part too. Like, I'm saving the banner for like perfect moments, and they keep getting interrupted, which is kind of interesting because we were talking about the poise perk in the comment section recently as a reason that could potentially get you hit by more attacks because you don't budge and get the knockback iframes. However, it can still definitely interrupt you when you're doing banners. So a little mix of playing really aggressive with the damage reduction build, a little mix of, you know, not playing Bulwark for a long time, or at least not trying to drop banners in lethal for, you know, very, like, quality banners. But still, honestly, it really goes a far way that we do have a Vanguard on the team who's healing himself. This is the one thing I would really actually kind of point out here, is if you're playing Bulwark and you notice you have a Vanguard who's fully leveled, just assume that they are gaining health off of their major executions, and then, you know, focus the player who doesn't heal. I should have focused the tactical. Now, this is a Ravener fight. I'm getting some big parries. I will say, I was parrying pretty well here. Outside of the one funny clip of me just missing like 3 or 4 parries in a row on the Binarist. Raveners are still really funny to me, though. They just kind of like squirm around and just like disappear. They can be annoying. They can definitely be annoying. Also, yeah, keep an eye out for that spore mine spawn. That's kind of dangerous. Luckily, this is a pretty open factory, so. And yeah, these Ravener grapples, you got to make sure you break out, break your teammates out of that. I think the Ravener takes a really good moment to jump on players when they are, like, effectively distracted. It's kind of interesting. Like, I'll legit stop what I'm doing and wait for a Ravener to respond, and then just try to, fight whatever's in front of me after I see it jump up in the air. That said, it's really not that hard to dodge it. Now, here's an example of this could be a risky banner. I should have just dropped it. I should have just dropped the banner. There's going to be a elevator right after this, so there's really no need for like an effective banner. And I think this is pretty much where I would definitely want to improve my banner placing, is when you can drop the banners and there's no majors, and you can just heal your teammates from an execution on a minorist. But sometimes that can be risky. It really depends on what your teammates decide to do. So the one thing I think I've already said one thing, but another thing I would say to improve banner would definitely be to just stop thinking too much. This is a great example of that. My teammate goes down here, which is kind of rough. And then there's the reinforcement call here. The correct play for Bulwark that's not just trying to kill everything would be to drop the banner on the teammate, heal them, and then you also reflectively heal your teammates who are currently fighting a Majorist also. So I really should have turned around and dropped the banner there. That said, yeah, I really do get a little bit bloodthirsty with my melee nowadays, and I really it slips my mind of how to efficiently drop banner. But that was a good banner. So far I had 2 good banners, and I missed like 1 opportunity and then missed 1 banner, something like that. And one of my teammates, I'm not too sure if they were in a fight there, but I'm pretty sure they popped the stim to full heal, so at least they had the instinct to do that. These teammates were good. I'll straight up say these teammates were good. But I was still in a good position here because I really do feel like I was tanking a lot of damage here. I do take the most damage on the team, which is pretty much what I wanted to do. It's pretty much what the Bulwark should do in general. And to be fair, I did do a good job at least keeping my health full, which, that's the base. That's the base, pretty much application of Invigorating Icon, is just dropping it for yourself, or at least dropping it for yourself in important moments. And at the very least, the Bulwark doesn't need any stims, and that can go a long way. I do have a stim pack here. I do believe I picked this up from a box or something. Nobody really wanted to go after that stim. And I know I normally show Terminus battles the full way through, but I have no ammo here. I had no ammo for this entire fight, so I really just I trimmed this fight out because this was also one of the only fights I could really take out that didn't feel like there was anything going on. Where I'm pretty much just walking around. I'm trying to like get the attention of my Vanguard, like, hey, I have no ammo, I need you to shoot the Neurothrope. And I also miss a pretty brutal banner here, as you can see with my cooldown, which I just wanted to remind my teammates about it. So that banner really bummed me out, because I know the Neurothrope is probably the easier banner. Oh yeah, another interrupted banner. So 2 interruptions for banner, which is rough. Which is rough, but it happens. I was still able to get this banner for myself. I think I tried to aim for the tactical there, but he just executed a tad bit late, and I definitely could have avoided that if I was just paying attention and wasn't rushing, essentially. Basically, I've been playing super aggressive with melee recently. All of those instincts just basically, like, went right into Bulwark. Like, all those instincts just flooded right into Bulwark, and I was just swinging this chainsword as much as I could. I do join this this operation a tad bit late. I think they got through basically the first encounter without me, which is not really too crazy. But that said, we do have a Vanguard here, who both these players are good. So both these players were able to stack up some pretty nice damage, which is nice. And I know we've discussed the Bulwark's DPS capabilities basically like a month or so ago, and I think, a lot of people don't really put Bulwark on the top tier of DPS, especially not against Tactical or Vanguard. Oh, here's a res. Oh my god, they either had Guardian Relic or something. Yeah, they had Guardian Relic, which healed their mortal wound. That was a good play. That was a good play. And The greatest thing about that, though, is how I go for the res, but since they have Mortal Wound, it doesn't happen, and I just picked up the ammo box. It did kind of look funny. It was kind of like, oh, let me help out, and then just pick up the ammo box. Now here I'm just kind of having fun with some long-range bolt pistol shots. The bolt pistol is a very fun weapon. I think the bolt pistol also has a really strong perk for melee executions as well. And I was getting some big gun strikes. I was honestly getting some big gun strikes in some of these fights to just keep me a little extra tanky. Dude, it's so crazy that they can call reinforcements down there. And now, also, keep in mind, that major was way far away and then just kind of teleported up here. That is 2 enraged majors. I'm not 100% sure if that's possible or not, but that was 2 enraged majors. I'm not too sure how that happened or if that's something that shouldn't be possible. I'm pretty sure there should only be 1, but maybe that's a ruthless rule. But that said, I'm also pretty sure there's no enraged majors in ruthless. Oh yeah, look at this little Zoanthrope introduction here. The Zoanthrope just kind of floats up there and was kind of just hanging out. But I will say, this is probably the most important part about Lethal is teamwork, and my teammates pretty much immediately start focusing these Zoanthropes. And the bolt pistol is a great weapon for focusing targets because of its fire rate. And I know the bolt pistol isn't the strongest pistol in the game. I think if I was to rank them off the top of my head, it would be like plasma pistol, heavy bolt pistol, Neo-Volkite, and then the bolt pistol, something like that. It really depends. The Neo-Volkite is a fun weapon, though. I really do want to go back to it, but it was one of the first pistols that I actually, mained, I guess, for Bulwark until it was fully leveled up, and then I started going over to trying out other pistols with other classes. But regardless, I still find the bolt pistol to be a fun weapon. And yeah, it does have a pretty cool melee perk where you can get like extra headshots after a melee execution, so that can be, that can come in handy, which is nice. Extra 50% headshot damage is definitely, definitely going to go a far way for a secondary weapon. And we do have like a little example here of headshots with that major. He might have been getting shot at, but either way, with the recon, it still does some pretty nice damage. Nice, perfect dodge there. Get the gun strike. And yeah, honestly, watching this operation, I did do a pretty, decent job at keeping my health full and, jumping right into the fight. Outside of that Neurothrope fight where I had no ammo and, I can't melee it. And yeah, those two Raveners definitely could have caused a problem, but, I was able to get some big parries and gun strikes on them as well, which is nice. Raveners are just funny now to me. They just pop out of nowhere and just start causing problems. And then they just slither away, go under stairs or whatever they do. Oh yeah, see, the damage spread here is pretty insane. That Vanguard was going off. But yeah, everyone went over 10k damage here. I was close to 10k, but the melee damage was solid. I did take the most damage, and I survived pretty well, so I'll take it. And now my PC Bulwark is level 25, which is also nice. Yay. But yes, the bolt pistol is fully leveled.